Okay, so it looks like Jidion quit YouTube. Question mark? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm a few days late because I've been playing Civ 6. Well, I said a few days late, 1 day late, but yeah.
Trying to turn to God, yo.
Let's see the
I'm not
DVD.
trying to put like my pinky toe in no more. I'm not gonna just be sitting on the edge of the pool. I want to jump full in. I want to dive all in,
At
chat.
first.
So that's all I'm gonna say. I was with my girl. We were Ubering back from her college, and then right when we got back to the crib, the Uber driver, she looked back at us and she asked us a question. Me answering it made my heart sunk. But she said, if you guys were to die right now, would you go to heaven or would you go to hell?
She
I had
killing
to be
y'all?
honest with
I'm dead.
myself. I had to look into myself, and I was like, the way I'm living right now, if God was to take my breath away right
Look, this is what I'm gonna say on it. Like, sometimes I feel like it's an exaggeration on like how you're living right now. Like, sure, you might do like some sins, but it's not gonna be like a crazy sin where you're going around killing people every single day and you haven't been caught for like years, and then they finally catch you and then they give you the death penalty or something. Like, your little sins of like, I feel like your little sins might get you like maybe disliked a little bit, but you'll still be able to pass through the gate if you get what I mean, right? Like, oh, like you ate pork this day. Let's say something like they don't really like you eating pork. You ate pork this day. You think they're gonna send you to hell for eating pork? Of course, I don't know that, but I feel like he'll be forgiving enough to forgive you to he'll be forgiven enough to forgive you for eating pork that 1 day, and he'll be like, since it was your only one time eating pork, it's okay, go through, you didn't do anything too bad, right? See, like stuff like that, I feel like he might be exaggerating it a little bit, or like people might exaggerate it a little bit. Like, unless you're doing like some crazy stuff, then I feel like you'll mostly be fine.
now, I'm going to hell. Crazy, chat. I be letting so many worldly things dictate how my day's gonna go. You feel me? You got people out here that are battling cancer,
True that.
having horrible, like, being victims of horrible crimes and all kinds of stuff, right? And they still have the ability to put a smile on their face and be genuinely happy. I get a strike on my channel and I'm not able to post for a week. I'm over here in the slumps. You would have thought my dog died, chat, the way I was around here acting when I was gone for that week, bro.
I can see what he's saying, but it's also like that's your livelihood. It's also like that's your livelihood. So even though it might not be as bad as cancer or some other stuff, it's still bad. It's like if somebody was working a 9 to 5 and they lost their job, or they were sent home without pay. It's kind of like that. They would be stressing too because they got bills to pay. So can't really be like it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's also
being rude to people. The only reason why I was acting like that is because I'm letting worldly things dictate how my spirit is. And I had to just think, if I do follow Jesus, if I do follow his word to tooth and nail of what it is front to back, then I'm not gonna be jidion anymore. I'm not gonna be popping. I'm not gonna be on your guys' For You pages with edits. I'm not gonna be having the ASAP Rockies and the Mark Wahlbergs hit me up. Like,
Jadion's one of the most like character-based people I talk to. Mm-hmm. I know of things already, but let's say he gets $100 million deal. If it's against him morally, he'd say no. Mm-hmm. Like 90% of people I know would take it. Mm-hmm. But he's like a man of principle, and I could respect that about him. And honestly, like when you dedicate your life to something that's not what you built your foundation on, you're gonna see some of this inconsistencies and incongruences. But he's right, really. It's really the same thing with anybody who practices the faith and also does content. If you stream all day, bro, you're supposed to pray during the stream. I just catch up after stream. But like if you spend all day doing one thing, there's no way it doesn't come at the cost of other things in your life. And your faith is gonna be one of them. I just think I think it's interesting how he came to this realization. It's so scary.
Is there something that happened that the
Uber situation? I'm just saying, like, it's so scary to do that because you might not be making content for another 6 months or another year. Like, something can happen and you don't know what it is. Like, you don't have much control, and what you do have control over is like your actions. So you want to do things that you think is the most viral. So in his brain, I know he already has like 500 ideas he could execute on at any given week, and he's just going every week executing on those ideas. So that becomes his life. Like everything he does just becomes content, and then you forget about everything else. So I don't know. It's an interesting position to be in, but I think this is a lot healthier and better than the opposite what we see, and that's kind of what happened to Logan Paul, where you get so caught up in the content, you like lose sight of what real life is anymore, and then now you're doing shit you could have never seen yourself doing before.
I think that it's crazy. This is my first time ever actually like hearing this part.
I didn't watch it on stream either.
Yeah, this is my first time. So I guess not the irony, but it's as a creator, I think it's way more relatable than a lot of people probably realize, because this is something that like literally right now I'm going through the exact same thing, where it's just like trying to put things in its proper perspective in life and not trying to like get too down on myself or focusing on like what's the next, you know what I'm saying, next thing over and over and over and over again, because you get caught up like very easy in that, and then sometimes you just stop and think to yourself like, oh, family, oh, friends, oh, my beliefs, or things that go beyond just like trying to put out the next video. And yeah, you can get lost and caught up very, very quickly. It just so happened that Jidion here is, coming to the realization more so about, religion and stuff like that, which just as like being transparent, yeah, I've definitely failed in that department over the past like XYZ amount of years. So it's always like interesting to come to that conclusion. I always wonder like, what does that look like as a content creator? Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. Just the way that it is, the way that everything is set up, unless you set yourself up in a way where quality is like over quantity and you can maybe get away with not uploading like very, very frequently, or maybe the content that you produce is like very low maintenance, so you can kind of get away with like only committing, a handful of hours, and then for like a good portion of the week you have your uploads already prepared. Bro, like it's just the level of commitment that comes on, or you hire a team. The level of commitment that comes to like just producing quality stuff on the internet is very difficult to do, and especially the commitments that Jidion makes, where he's flying all over the country and stuff like that. So yeah, there's gonna be aspects of your life where you get caught up. And from the outside looking in, bro, I know for a lot of people it's kind of hard to understand that. But yeah, bro, like you can get caught up. You get caught up very, very quickly. And there's certain things that you gotta appreciate. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm be transparent, man. Now that I'm making like more money than I was making like 3 years ago, the one thing that does concern me, and I'm starting to like realize how hard it is to have like genuine conversations with people that you don't already know.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Depends about what. I don't talk to people about money.
No, but how quickly it may pivot to money and success.
Honestly, I don't really talk to people like that. They exist. I just don't. And people like know not to talk. Like, you're not going to come up to me and say weird. Like, there's a way to be weird if you walk up to me.
Yeah.
But most people, at least in my life, don't do shit like that. Having a foundation is important. It doesn't matter what it is. And I think Jidion coming to this realization is illuminating for a lot of people. It should be, because it's like a lot of people walk around without one. And that's why you feel purposeless. And
that's yes.
And then you kind of just feel like everything you're doing is empty. When you have a good foundation, everything you're doing has a purpose. I just believe this life is a test. So doesn't mean you're going to ace every part of it, but you should most definitely be trying to do as good as you can, avoid the sins, commit the good deeds, and then at the end of the day, you're a better person as a result. There's a lot of temptation you're going to experience in life, bro. And part of it is attention. Like, that's what everyone's doing right now on TikTok. Everyone's just trying to get clout or attention.
Bro, I don't know why. I don't even look this shit up, but my TikTok is full of like I don't even know. It's not even like my TikTok specifically. It's just a live page. And I don't even go on the live page.
And it's like, I don't know. Like, I think humans are technology has moved.
I'll just be randomly scrolling, and then there'll just be like a random girl jumping for no reason. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Way faster than humans have been able to adjust. Mm-hmm. And now it's just like everybody is just feeling. It's like everything's becoming more fake, less genuine. It's just the way things are moving, bro. And everybody wants to be a fucking content creator. Like, everyone's gunning for his job, bro. Yeah. And if he doesn't have his foot on the gas all the time, someone's gonna take that spot. And I know you think like the attention of human beings are limitless. That's not true. Feel me? Like, there's a certain amount you're going to want to watch, and then you're done. You can go about your life. You can go to sleep. You're going to wake up. You can go to school, go to work, or whatever it is. So like, there's a risk to focusing your attention on something that's not what got you here. 100%. And there's a good chance that everyone in his family and his friends rely on him monetarily for their sustenance. Maybe he wants to retire his parents, or maybe he wants to make sure his friends are comfortable. So there's a certain amount of responsibility that you just have to consider. All of it is just difficult decision making. But honestly, some of these are just good problems to have in the first place. You'd rather have these problems than other problems. Like he said, there's people dealing with real shit that you can't juke, you can't avoid, and you don't know.
That's true.
So I don't know. I feel like the genuine shit is easier to come by for me now. Like I could tell when someone's not there, and then I just won't waste my time with them. But reality is when you have something,
you gotta be able to tell easier now than before. But I just feel like there's more. Non-genuine people. Well, they've always. Let me be clear. The disingenuous people have always existed. They just have more incentive to interact. But like, yeah, it may be easier now than before because you've seen more of those people. I don't know. I feel like, especially the way that we met, like, I feel like those type of interactions are just never gonna happen.
Depends. I feel that completely with Jidion. When I interact with him, I don't feel he doesn't move different as a result of his status or wealth or whatever. He just like a rant. Like,
how many people do you think exist like that?
It's not common, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not common.
It's not like this. I mean,
really? I don't know because I wouldn't. I'm not
like people that I know who do content. Like, shout out to y'all, bro. Shout out to the people I know who do content because I don't really feel that vibe from a lot of people, which I think is also good. I don't know like how we've been able to like keep those people at bay because I hear things about like what somebody did out in LA or in Miami or somewhere else, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like, so I don't know how we've been able to avoid those people, but like, yeah, I don't know. But to be also fair, like a lot of the people that we know, we've known, for a while though. To also be fair, that's true. It's true. You know, no new friends, bro.
No, you can make new friends.
Nah, man.
Wahlberg or Mark Cuban or going to the Simon charity match. Would any of that really matter, chat?
Is that Liza P? That outfit looked fire as fuck. Not gonna lie to you. That shit had me. That shit had me rethink. I'm not even gonna skip no more.
Every delivery.
No, it really wouldn't. Jesus tells us in the Bible it's easier for a needle to go through a camel than for a rich man to go to heaven. And chat, man, thanks to you guys, I've acquired a very nice fortune, and I'm not saying that to brag or anything, but this fortune that I have on earth is nothing compared to the fortune I can have in the kingdom of heaven. This is just me like really talking to y'all. Like, this is me trying to just be so 100% transparent. But God tells us that a bird doesn't have to worry about where he's going to get his next meal from. And then he said, are you not better than a bird? I'm way better than a bird. So why am I tripping? You know the crazy thing about it, chat? I'm going to just spill the beans to y'all, bro. I'm going to be honest. So I was about to take a gambling deal, chat. I was about to take a gambling deal. I was about to do a deal with my bookie. I was giving myself so many reasons to take the deal. I was like
making up excuses on why to do it.
Employees more. I'll be able to do cool events. I was trying to trick my brain into saying, I'll be able to work more directly with these sporting companies and everything. Chat, bro, I was going to be making a lot of money. And for minimum work. But that's the reason why it's minimum work is because like you guys clicking that link to the gambling page would be making up what they're paying me. You feel me? Because I even talked to Nico about it, right? And I was like, yo, Nico, man, I think I'm gonna do it. And Nico was like, don't do it, bro. Like, you're not that person. I was giving Nico every excuse under the bus. And he was just like, man, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but this isn't you, bro. And he was like, don't do it. My spirit was telling me not to do it, but I was just listening to my flesh, man. Bro, I'm telling you guys, do not listen to your flesh, bro. And you guys might be wondering, like, what are you saying by that?
He's like, I almost crossed the line. I don't want to cross.
Give in to your flesh. Trying to make it seem like, oh, for you guys, just do more giveaways or my parents. But no, it was my own selfish needs.
Bro, that's some real shit. That's some real shit, bro.
It is some real shit.
I know some
audio
gambling deals
differences
niggas
bugging
took. You know what's crazy? I feel like a lot of the numbers I see online are like inflated. Inflation won't even do justice how mind-blowing numbers I've heard were, and these were directly from the source. So the amount of money in the gambling world is crazy, but the reason why is because they're hitting licks on your audience, buddy. And I don't judge nobody for taking those deals at the end of the day, bro. Niggas get to make decisions.
Yeah, in fact, they do what they want to do.
I've denied gambling deals.
We've denied quite a few deals, actually.
Yeah, the unfortunate reality is most of the streaming deals come with gambling.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of have to have a lot of leverage to not have gambling in your deal. I've seen many people with it, but a lot of the deals, especially on that site, come with gambling incentives.
Which site?
They're so... Well, you're going to want to do it, bro.
Twitch.
It's like like,
but it was the same thing with a podcast. We had a podcast. The amount of gambling and the sex pill, like those two were like, we could have been throwing that shit at y'all every episode, just back and forth. Roll the dice, win this, take this pill, get your dick sucked. Like it could have been back and forth, but. Yeah, we didn't do it either. But we talked about that before. And shout out to, I can only imagine the type of money that he was getting.
It was probably over 100 million. Like if it was a year-long deal with like deliverables throughout the year, it was probably over 100 million. That shit is crazy.
That is.
But you know how they make that money though? They hit a lick on your audience.
Yeah, for sure.
The lick of all licks.
Boy, that's a lot of money, man.
Bro, it's 100, bro. Oh my God. Especially for a creator his size.
Yeah, man. That's a lot.
How do you even say no to that? Most niggas are saying yes to that, bro. And I know, like, when you're not in that position, it's easy to say, like, I would say no. Bro, I went through that same thing. I got a gambling deal, and it was in the millions, bro. And it was like 10x more than I would have made that year. And I would have to do very little to say, bro, I'm sitting there contemplating, like, I can grow the team like this. Nigga, the content could reach all these people and shit like that. So I started calling people. That's what I do nowadays. You know who taught me that? This nigga. Because he'll call me sometimes. So I know he calls other people to just ask for advice. So anytime I'm not sure now, I'll ask people who I feel like might know. So I was asking. Eventually I called my dad. I said, hey, so I got this deal, but it's like, what is this bread? So I'm sitting here explaining to him why it's such a good deal and shit like that, just to see if he could talk me out of it. And then, the way he wasn't even disappointed. He was just like unfazed. He was like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, for money? You're gonna do it for money? And I was like, yeah. And he just made me feel like it was a nice reminder that money is not the only important thing in life. For sure. And like, after talking to him, I was like, it would be a pretty dumb idea to take it at that point. But like, he was just like, bro, it's money. It's money. You're gonna die and money's gonna be gone. Like, you're gonna do it for money? And
he's like, I feel like his dad was like, are you struggling for money right now? Agent's like, no. Is there anything happening that would needing a lot more money in the future? Probably not, maybe. And then he probably kept going off of stuff like that and was like, since you're not in desperate need for money right now, you're pretty secure, you're safe, where like you don't gotta worry about bill to bill, right? Why are you rushing for the money that could be like really helpful in the future when you don't need it right now? I don't know. I feel like it might have been something.
He wasn't even trying to convince me. He was just saying what he would always say. But like, that's what it is, though. I feel like being able to live off a principle, there's value there because there's going to be a lot of incentives not to, man. In your life, there's going to be a lot of incentives not to. Even in small ways, like maybe your principle is just like you want to be healthy. And then some days you just don't want to eat good or some days, but there's value in sticking to what built you, like that foundation. And I think him just going back to it is him being honest with himself. Because I feel like there's another path you could take where you just go down that rabbit hole and now you can't even, you don't even know who you are no more. That person you were, like the person you are right now is a completely different person and is a worse person.
But I think the problem is that people have a hard time hearing how much that's going to really eat at you at night. Like you can have all the money in the world. If you like look in the mirror or you kind of step back and look at the things you've done and you just like internally, you genuinely don't approve of those things, like that shit just turns you off. Or it don't matter how much money you make, it don't matter how much money you have. Especially when we get to this point, I'm not even at like your point of.
That's what I'm thinking. Like as soon as you get like that hot, like if you were like me right now, I'd be like, yeah, sure, because that's 10 mil that I don't got. Not even 100K, not even 50K, right? But like at their standpoint, they're like, I could make that myself. I don't need to do like something that go against my morals that would cause me to not like myself, but then I would have all this money. So at that point, I can see what they're saying.
There's definitely times where I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's really going to be the difference in my life or in other people's life around me if an extra $20,000, $50,000, $60,000 gets introduced? Like, not like it can be some stuff, but it ain't no shit that like that really actually matters. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that actually matters, it ain't gonna really matter. Like the difference between instead of driving a Camry and a BMW, who gives a fuck? Like what?
Actually,
stop.
BMWs are great cars.
Shut up,
bro.
In this place we found.
See, that looked cool, right? But like, you're too long. Pause.
You know what I'm talking about. You're just chatting right now. Yeah, you're chatting. I applaud you, DM, for coming to this conclusion, because I think it's much more difficult to come to this conclusion than people realize. But from my lived experience, it's also just easier to live life that way, bro. There's nothing.
Don't even try and convince nobody that. Honestly, I want the herd of people that think money's gonna solve their problems to just spend their life trying to chase it, and then the worst thing that can happen to them is they get it.
I feel like money doesn't like bring you happiness, but like this is how I always see money, right? Money lets you do stuff that you wouldn't originally be able to do without it. Like say you always gotta worry about your bills, right? But you have money, so you could pay your bills and then look for the thing that makes you happy, right? That's how I see money. Like if I have it, then I won't have to worry about this, which I need every day to live. And then I could look for something that makes me happy, that's traveling or friends or like just chilling at home. Like that's how I see it, right? Money itself isn't going to bring you happiness, but the stuff that it takes care of and you don't got to worry about is what brings you which is what could bring you happiness or whatnot. That's how I see it.
That's not the worst thing.
Yes, it is.
They get in and they do what?
Then they're hopeless because that was their hope that it was gonna solve all their problems. You ever go through something in life and in that moment, it consumed your mind is always on it, and you feel like, fuck, bro, if I could just get through this. And then you get through it. Isn't it so fascinating how a new problem just pop up? Like you would have thought like once you got through that problem, it's bliss. But then a new problem just find a way to pop up. It could be a small problem, bro. It could just be like you fractured your fucking index finger. And now, everything I do, I need my index finger for. I can't drive properly. I can't wipe my ass. I'm trying to do left hand wipes now. It's just like, and then this becomes your problem. And then eventually, imagine while this is your problem, something big happens in your life, like you get a tumor. You think you give a fuck about your finger right now? No, you're focused on the tumor in your body, and that's gonna be your problem. So it don't matter the scale of the problem. The human beings they have this innate ability to just exacerbate that problem, make it feel like some real colossal shit. And there's people dealing with real colossal shit. So if that's not you, if you failed your class and nigga, run it back. You didn't run out of time yet. You're still alive. Run the class back. You'll get through it. But so many people create these grand problems out of small things. So that's what I say. Literally just get the money. Chase it your whole life. Sacrifice everything for the money. And then you're going to have nothing and you're going to be hopeless. And then that's going to be true poverty, because you're gonna be gone mentally right here. But I don't matter how much money you got in your pocket. There's people with no money that's happy in life, bro.
That's also true.
So,
but you know what taught me that? What taught me that was death. Like death in my family taught me like, bro, all this shit is just.
Yeah, bro.
It's gonna be gone, bro. I want to say like, bro, that shit gonna be gone, bro.
It's cool.
I remember my grandfather used to tell me about all the things he did and all the stuff he got in his room and stuff like that, bro. That shit gone, bro. I remember my uncle was running around trying to figure out how to get a car. And he did it, and he got the truck, and then.
Oh, when I'm talking about getting money, I'm not talking about like getting cars and shit. I'm just talking about like basic shit, like having your bills paid off, having the internet you want, having the equipment you want for whatever you're doing, like stuff like that. Having like enough money after just to be able to buy food. Like I'm talking about that, not like extra expenses where you like just have enough money and then you go out and then you could just buy a car. I'm talking about like, oh, I got enough money, I save it for a year, I could get myself a new car. Like that type of money, right? Or that type of happiness, I guess.
Boom, bro. He lost his life, bro. That shit, all that shit that he was worried about, we were sitting there talking about, that shit is pointless. It was done. And you be sitting there thinking to yourself, bro, I really wish the last couple of conversations I had with him wasn't because of like a truck or a car or some miscellaneous things that now genuinely don't even matter, bro. That stuff does not matter, bro. Mm-hmm. Yo, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Until next time, we'll see you all later. Peace.
I can see what they're saying, though. I can see what they're saying. As long as you don't go against your morals while you're trying to get your things stacked up or trying to grow, then I could see that. It's crazy to think that a single question from a complete stranger could make you think this deep. Change. That's true. Also, it could give you chills because you just hop in an Uber and you're like, what would happen if you just died right now? I mean, can we not talk about this right now? I'm just saying. But yeah, like, subscribe. See you guys later. Hope you have a good day or night, and bye.